Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HP Podcast, episode number 337. I'm Ben. I don't know why I needed to say that so quickly just there, but I did. I guess I'm just excited to see the beautiful boys, Davey and Brandon. Brandon, what's up?
I'm back, bitches.
Hello.
Hello.
And where you go? Oh, you were gone last week.
I was gone last week. Yeah, I had to work.
Were you hanging out with Alec?
No, I'm hanging out with him tomorrow, actually. Not on a Wednesday. Not on a Wednesday. I will mind you, it was not on a Wednesday. I said I cannot. I said I have the 16th and the 17th free, which is the 16th today, the day we're recording it. If you're listening on audio feeds, I said I have these days free, and then I instantly texted back after I got done typing and sending that message and said, actually, I'm only free the 17th.
So you remembered us on, like, it's good that you remembered us, period, but you didn't originally. You were like, I don't do anything with two of my best friends on Wednesday nights.
Tuesday has been the day for years and years and years and years. Okay. That's my only excuse. And it's actually a good excuse because it's been that way for a very, very, very long time.
It's actually a good excuse.
It's the best excuse I've ever made. Some would say it's better than Ben's excuse. I'm okay. I'm glad to be back. Sad to have missed last week, but here I am. I had a lot of time to play games, so I'm excited to talk about it. I had a couple days off here recently, so I'm feeling gamed out, boys. I'm feeling gamed
out.
Like I'm in the games, bro. Not like to exhaustion. Like
you're all gamed up.
I am in the game. Yes, someone might say that, but I'm good.
Brandon, I just wanted to thank you.
You're welcome.
And this may be a sensitive issue. I don't know. The last I uncovered this recently, and the last week I've just been playing with it. Just this little doodad here.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah. It's not a sensitive issue. I have another one of those. My brother. I know. Well, no. I have one that was never given.
Oh,
that I'm not friends with. It was a family member. So for the people that don't know, that was like an ask to be in the wedding I almost had with my ex. I engraved the initials of the people that were going to be a part of my side of the wedding party, and I gave that to them, asking them to be in the wedding. That never ended up happening.
It's got a naked picture on the back for everybody.
Right. It's just my hanging dick. I got engraved in the back. Straight from Zippo.
You had the whole thing. You only used half of it.
I know. They had to get some fine machinery to be able to engrave something that tiny. They're like, sir, maybe we should make the lighter really big, and then it will actually be able to like put some of the detail in it.
Like a jumbo bic for your dick, right?
Exactly. But I have one that has initials of somebody that was a part of my ex's family. And I think I'm gonna have my brother like laser engrave it off.
Well,
and then
no, you're thinking all wrong here. What are the initials?
JJD, I think.
We gotta find the friend with JJD in their name, like that's their initials, and we just
keep that forever. Yeah,
a good chance their first and middle name is J. Jonah. So I mean, that's a good person to go looking for. Right?
That's true. That's
and it's
true.
Like, hey, how'd you guys become friends? Well, I had this lighter, and that's how it all started.
I mean, hey, it's a tale as old as time. A lot of people have been here. I'm definitely not the only person who've had this exact situation happen to them. Get in a lighter engraved, but
I'm just happy you gave it to me before you guys broke up. You know,
it is a fun little trinket. I would have given it to you either way because I had ordered them. So they're there whether it happened or not. It's maybe one of the only things that's good I got out of the whole thing for 5 years. But yeah. The idea of that. But I'm good. Drinking a non-brown diet soda today, which is not typical for me. My understanding, are you gentlemen a fan of Mountain Dew?
I like the taste of it, but it always gives me a stomach ache.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think that's what's supposed to happen, but okay, go ahead, Ben.
I used to be a real big fan of Mountain Dew when I was younger. I still like it, okay, but not as much. Like I'll have it like a couple times a year at most, absolute maximum. I'm not a huge fan of the zero.
The zero's gas, dude.
Like I like zero in almost every other thing, but I don't like it in that. And actually, realistically, the only I can't it's probably been 2 years since I've had like regular Mountain Dew. Baja Blast is about the only thing I get, and the reason for that is because like if you go to Taco Bell, you must drink Baja Blast, and
Sure.
you may not drink Baja Blast unless you have received it from Taco Bell. Like those are the
don't
rules.
agree with that. I
They're
don't agree with
unflinchingly rigid.
don't
You're an
agree with
idiot if you disagree. Like when
I
they
am an
started putting
idiot.
when they started putting it in cans, that was one of the worst travesties since the early 2000s in American
Since
history.
World War II.
So
But yeah, so I got me a good old Mountain Dew, and this is a local thing. Didn't this start in the Appalachians, which is kind of where we live, and
I have
Dave?
no idea where it started.
The mountains, the Mountain Dews. I think it is a northeastern thing. Someone in chat and or Discord can correct me if they have deep lore autism on soda. But
I have a little bit of deep lore for you.
no, deep lore autism is what I said. But yeah,
Yeah, the
I'm gonna double down on that.
the brew kettles that we used at my brewery before that whole thing literally went up in flames. The brew kettles we used were used to make Canada Dry Ginger Ale in the 50s.
Oh shit, that's like Dave, dude.
Yeah.
Part
Also,
of our
Derek,
heritage, yeah.
Derek, I don't know how he's lasted so long in chat without getting banned, but like
Time him out.
over the years, he's lied to us
We really
millions of
need
times
mods.
about
We
Nintendo.
really need mods.
But like, I don't care if you don't go to Taco Bell. What that means is you must go to Taco Bell and only order a Baja Blast. You're not supposed to buy Baja Blast at the store or the gas station or anything. It's illegal.
I don't agree with this.
What's
Derek is okay.
saving Derek is his affinity to Borderlands. I need some help here, with the
Mhm.
Borderlands hype, and he's always there backing me up. So he'll stick around as long as I'm here.
Derek chooses to love what I hate, basically.
But you don't hate Borderlands.
I will if Derek likes it.
True.
Far enough.
But,
Dave, how are you? We've talked way too long now.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, hold up though. This is for you guys too. This Mountain Dew, this signifies White Boy Summer is in full effect. And so I want to let you guys know, as fellow white boys, it is a
Bro,
White
it's
Boy
almost
Summer.
August.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's in full effect, man.
Oh, okay.
We're deep up in the jowls of White Boy Summer right now. Dave, proceed, fellow white boy.
I'm good. I'm seeing leaves change colors on my trees outside. I know that NFL players report to training camp next week. So yeah, we're getting close to fall. So I don't know, but White Boy Summer, what would be I want to say Twisted Tea. I don't know. Do you guys have Twisted Tea down there?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of
you
course.
do. Okay, yeah, I know.
This is
you do.
America.
Because I went to Maine.
We invented tea, Dave. Okay.
10 years ago, and I went into a gas station, and this was before we had alcohol in gas stations up here in Ontario. And I saw in a gas station the most awe-inspiring selection of not just alcohol, but twisted tea flavors that I've ever seen in my life. And that's kind of like, it's a nice representation of what happens when you guys will never experience this, but as a Canadian who goes south of the border, which is 30 minutes away from me, the variety and flavors. So we have Mountain Dew, but we don't have all the different, like I had no idea Mountain Dew Zero was a thing, but Baja Blast, obviously I've heard of, but like the different, like the selection you guys have when it comes to sugary drinks it's unbelievable. And it's nice in short spurts, but it's I'm always taken aback when I walk into a convenience store and see all the stuff that you guys have that we don't. And Twisted Tea was one where I was like, I thought there was just one, but there's like a million different flavors. So yeah.
Well, we have the like inverse dark matter version of what you're talking about, where you're overjoyed with the variety. I'd imagine if I went to Canada, I would be crippled with the amount of sugary drinks I wasn't seeing. Dave, do you know what a Faygo is?
It sounds familiar, but let's pretend I don't.
Well, to start, have you heard of Insane Clown Posse?
This is very important to the lore, because they actually, it's like one and the same, really. Do you know of the Insane Clown Posse?
Yeah, familiar with them.
Then surely you know about Faygo.
I don't. What's Fago?
It's a
You're
soda
saying
drink.
Fuego or Fago?
No. Fago.
Fago. Okay. I don't know what that is.
It's a soda
Just-
pop. Look it up.
Just
Somebody
Google it.
somebody send it to our to Dave's PO box instantly. Let's get him a case of Fago cherry.
I have a
Fago root
question.
beer.
What is Four Loko? Is that a sugary drink or is that an alcoholic drink?
It's an alcoholic drink. So
is.
Well, they make sugary drinks now too.
yeah, it used to be a drink that had very high percentage of caffeine and very high percentage of alcohol mixed together,
Right.
and then people were like going to the hospital about it and maybe died. Who
It
knows?
was like Rockstar vodka. Yeah, those
Yeah.
were awful, but great in my early 20s.
Yeah,
Liquid Death was really confusing the first time.
yeah,
wife
just
and I went
canned
to
water.
A Backstreet Boys concert at Darien Lake a few years ago. We ordered a water and he put the can down. I'm sure this happens all the time. Puts the can down. We're like, sorry, a water. And he's like, trust me, it's water. And we're like, whoa. This is
That'll be
that's the
$8.
marketing point, right? It's
Right.
it doesn't look like a water, but trust me, it's water, and it's pretty good
brilliant.
water too.
It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah, I heavily support Liquid Death. I fuck
Dave,
heavy.
you mentioned Twisted Tea, and it reminded me. I had a friend who the only alcoholic drinks they drank, and honestly, maybe the only drinks they drank, period, were Twisted Tea and Mike's Hard Lemonade. And Twisted Tea, like I can handle because it's okay. It tastes okay.
It sneaks up
And-
on you.
Yeah.
It really does.
And I've had some Mike's Hard Lemonades in the past, and I don't really prefer them. I think that they are made exclusively for people who are alcoholics and also want to get diabetes, because this is the sweetest substance I have
Yeah.
ever tasted in my life.
Bad. It's bad.
Disgustingly so. And I like sweet drinks.
Yeah. I
Not
agree
Mike's
with you,
Hard
but there is one sweeter, and this is going to kind of take this conversation full circle. Mountain Dew Code Red. Tried it once. I don't even know if they still make it, but that is just, it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
There is a tier of white mom that enjoys this sort of thing. The other notable addition is the wine cooler.
Yeah.
That seems to be a popular amongst white women, white older women.
Yeah.
The Seagram's Jamaican Me Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys get into like the vodka soda craze at all?
No.
I sold a lot of them, but I don't think
no.
I ever drank more than one or two.
They're weird because it's a lot of them are, you look at the ingredients and you're expecting to see vodka, but it's not. It just says alcohol.
It's
Yeah.
malt. It's
Yeah,
probably
it's
just malt.
some
Yeah.
weird thing, and it tastes like a chemical, not a vodka. So
That sounds like malt.
Yeah.
Yep.
if it's got a little stank to it, and it's only $3 for a big boy, then
Yeah.
you know it's malt, baby.
Somebody, I think it was Derek, mentioned they make Hard Mountain Dew now. I had one of those one time out of curiosity, and I regretted it.
It tastes like malt. It does. It's not
Yeah.
awful if you really like are banging it back. But
Yeah.
once you start like letting it actually go over your taste bud instead of just taking it down the gullet, that's the part where you get in trouble with these drinks. It's not about the taste.
Now, Brandon, I think when we were in San Diego, maybe, we went to a Taco Bell cantina,
Oh, that was amazing.
and they had liquored up Mountain Dew drinks. Like they were icy. I didn't have one, but I remember.
I did. It was good. So
Yeah.
in our state, you can't like Pennsylvania is really stringent with like where alcohol is able to be sold, especially liquor, right?
Way
There's-
less stringent than they used to be.
There's state stores specifically where you have to get that, but in California, it's the Wild West. So we went into Taco
Almost
Bell.
everywhere else in the United States, it's the Wild
Fair,
West. Just
fair. The Wild West.
Yeah.
So I got a Baja Blast slushy, and it asked if I wanted to put 2 shots of vodka in it, and I said yes, absolutely. I think that brought me back to life, like those paddles, you know, like in Battlefield.
It was like 1 a.m. No, that was New York City. That wasn't San Diego. That
Was
was
that-
New York City.
It was
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
one of the misadventures. But yeah, that's like the American dream.
Mhm.
We could be living that here in Pennsylvania, but
I
sadly
thought
we're not.
Pennsylvania had like Pennsylvania had historically been like a prohibition state, but hasn't it flipped almost completely, or is it?
It's them
just
fucking
gotten
Quakers,
better.
dude, isn't it?
Well, no.
Quaker
what
law.
Well, maybe a little bit of Quaker stuff, but back in the at the time Prohibition was repealed, the governor at the time was a teetotaler, meaning someone who never liked to enjoy alcohol or consume alcohol, unless of course it was medicinal purposes. And he made the statement and then followed through with it that he wanted to make it as difficult as possible for people to be able to get alcohol in Pennsylvania as he could.
And he did.
And that's when they made some of the crazy laws they had. They like formed the state store system. They actually have a rule where, like, in order to prevent alcohol from being sold as many places as possible, they made a rule that you couldn't sell gasoline or petrol and alcohol from the same register, the same point of sale. So now, like, literally, if you go to a Sheetz, that rule hasn't ever been overturned. And only recently has, like, our gas stations been able to sell alcohol. So if you go to Sheetz, there's only one register you can buy the alcohol at, and it cannot be used to sell gasoline. And it is not only that, it is separately deeded. That register is separately deeded than the rest of the store. It's insane.
It's so...
But
it's
Pennsylvania is one of the largest craft beer states. So, you know, little trade-off.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fucking Quakers, man. That guy, it's fucking square, whoever did that. What did you say his name was? T-Sipper?
No, that's...
What did you say?
Teetotaler, but I don't know.
That sounds like a
remember what
racial
his name
slur
was.
for somebody from England. I can't be saying...
That is our word.
That's one more. Poot says, does PA still have weird purchasing rules about 6-packs and 12-packs? Yes.
Yes, they do.
You can only buy so many ounces at a time, but, like, literally you can buy it, take it to your car, and come back and buy more. So I don't really know if it's effective, but
It's
one of those
reason it's not.
100-year-old laws that they're just not going to change anytime soon. So, yeah. President Donald J. Trump is a teetotaler. True. This teetotaler is generally used in religious terms, though. I don't know if that's why Donald Trump's lack of alcohol consumption is the reason, but teetotaler is usually a reference to people who don't do it because of religious practices.
5 wives are okay, though.
Yeah. No, I would say those same people are teetotalers. Like, you're talking about Mormons.
No, I mean like 5 ex-wives.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. No big
Like
deal.
I said, I didn't think it was religious for him, but
Child
What do I know?
molestation. Oh, forget it.
this is the HP podcast. We talk about
What the fuck? Hold up. Go ahead, Dave.
You said 5 wives is okay, and then I added child molestation is also okay, apparently.
oh,
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently to these tea sippers.
Yeah.
You can never catch me sipping tea like they do.
And when
I'm
you say
gulping tea.
teetotaler, I thought it was T like TEA, not T as in like golf tea.
no, and I don't remember why.
Oh, so
I
it's not like the drink.
No.
Oh.
A teetotaler refers to someone who abstains completely from alcohol. It's believed to have originated from a speech impediment of a temperance advocate who, in trying to emphasize total abstinence, stuttered, saying teetotal. The T part of the word is thought to be a reduplication of the T in total, adding emphasis. That's Google's
wild.
AI version. That could be totally not true, but
No, that's 100% true.
yeah.
100% fact. You heard it here first.
Also, Atreya, hello, welcome. We weren't even talking about weed. But I don't think you're going to find any arguments here.
It's a plant.
You guys want to talk about some video games?
Hell
Sounds
yeah.
This is the HP podcast. We talk about video games for approximately 1/3 of the show, and Donald Trump apparently now for the other a good portion of it as well. You can support us on Patreon over at patreon.com/handsomephantom if you want to help support us for as little as $1 a month. You can also join us on Discord at handsomephantom.com/discord for absolutely free and hang out with us there. Moving on to story number 1. TheGamer.com reports that King staff was laid off by Microsoft, and they're set to be replaced by AI tools that they help train, according to a report. Quote, "We're in a strange place with AI. Executives, eternally eager for annual growth, aren't quite sure how they can use AI to create more wealth, but they're trying in any way they can find. In other words, capitalism hasn't yet found the niches where AI makes or loses money for corporations. Xbox has undergone 4 rounds of layoffs in the last 18 months, with the most recent round being the most devastating of all. One of the studios affected was King, developer of Candy Crush. King was acquired by Xbox in the massive $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, and now the studio is set to absorb 200 cut jobs. According to a report from mobilegamer.biz, I don't know anything about mobilegamer.biz, but I will say that thegamer.com is a pretty reputable source. Former staff members are reporting that Microsoft is replacing their roles with artificial intelligence tools that were created by laid off staff. Quote, most of the level design has been wiped, which is crazy since they spent months building tools to craft levels quicker. Now those AI tools are basically replacing the teams. Similarly, the copywriting team is completely removing people since we now have AI tools that those individuals have been creating. There's a lot more here. If you want to go read it, check it out on thegamer.com. But boys, can we agree that if anybody's jobs are going to get replaced by AI, it should be the people who make Candy Crush?
Jesus Christ.
I'm not talking about The Last of Us here, or like, you know.
I'm joking completely. I don't want anybody's jobs to be replaced. If it can all be avoided, then that would include with AI. But it's really rough to know they trained AI and then replace them. Dave, is this a Terminator Skynet type situation going to happen here soon?
Yeah, it looks like it. It's funny that this article kind of starts off at making a pretty interesting observation about where the world kind of is in terms of this initial discovery and experimentation with AI, where we're just sort of recklessly using it wherever it fits. And, you know, full disclosure, I totally understand from a business perspective the merits of finding efficiencies and cost saving from a business standpoint. That's just how businesses function. That's how they'll always function. It'll always be profits over people. And I kind of think like this is almost like a second coming of the Industrial Revolution from a, you know, the way we're changing doing business, because you know, a lot of jobs were just kind of replaced back then, and it's kind of starting to happen now. But, you know, as much as I try to look at this from a logical lens, it still terrifies me. And I'm sorry, I'm not really going to talk too much about video games here, because just as from a philosophical standpoint, as a human being with a job that probably could be easily replaced, you know, I can't help but take a bird's eye view and think that as much as I beg and plead and try to change my skills and upskill and reskill, it's like I don't see a job that can't be replaced. Well, I see very few jobs that couldn't be replaced feasibly by AI in the next 10 years. So I don't know. We started off last week by talking about all of the layoffs that Microsoft had across their entire portfolio of development studios. But when you kind of look at it from this lens, it really, I don't know, it starts to hit home about how, you know, how scary this really is. So it's like, I think about my wife, and she's a psychotherapist, and that's like one example I can think of where it's going to be really hard for AI to replace mental health practitioners and probably doctors to a similar extent. But there's just so many others where I'm like, I don't know where this ends, because as long as businesses can save money, the more they're going to push for this kind of stuff. So, you know, it's King. They make games that I don't really care about. They make games that I think the people who really play them don't really care about the people who are making them. So, but it's not going to stop. It really isn't. So I don't know.
And no.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with Dave. It is kind of a scary idea. As we continue to get more and more into the AI version of the world and kind of expand and see how it can supplement human in the workforce, I think we'll find that there's going to be diminishing returns with AI unless there's a significant advancement in what it's able to achieve and the quality of work that it's able to achieve. Something creative is not something AI can really generate. It can pull from other examples. And I guess that might be the last bastion for humans, is that we can imagine and create things out of thin air, and extrapolate new things that are interesting and not just. I guess that's kind of what AI does too. Yeah, we're doomed. No,
we're cooked, boys.
Yeah, it's over. I don't know, man. I think that as things continue to progress, it's like, will there be a downward shift in King's product? Absolutely. Especially with the way AI is right now. If you have it do like menial tasks that are humans are doing now, and I'm not calling them menial, then sure, yeah, I can do something like that. But to make something that's actually quality and substantial, let's go back to The Last of Us. Not the best game that's ever been made. One of the best games, right? An AI couldn't make that. And I'm not yet. But that's what I'm saying is the difference, though. Like, I feel like we are in imminent danger of it replacing a lot of the jobs, but I still feel like there's some hope to where, unless there's significant advancement to what these things can do, there will only be so much ground AI is able to take from the human brain as it stands in my mind right now. So, I'm getting a little off topic about the whole king and just going into AI generally now, which ends up happening when we talk about this sort of thing. Obviously sad. Of all the companies, I unfortunately am sorry for King and all the people, but it's not one that I think most people are even going to notice just because the game itself almost seems AI generated from the beginning and it was made by humans from the beginning. So something more substantial will be more noticeable, and sorry to the people that are out of work, but maybe you can go on to do something more creative and interesting. You could have more passion in about, but I don't know, man.
What do you guys think about what is the proper use of AI in video games, specifically since we are a video game podcast most of the time? We see examples like there have been plugins for Unreal for almost 2 decades to randomly generate trees or whatever if you outline where they should go. And like there are a lot of very small indie devs that don't have the money to hire someone and also are artistically talented. So they can put those in their game, but they're not taking away a job. They're just helping themselves make. What do you think the place of AI is and how can we utilize it? I mean, obviously we can't control what Microsoft or whoever does, but just thinking.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think AI is best used as a supplementary tool to actual human creation. I think you get in the weeds whenever you're using it to create too much of one thing from scratch. I think it could be well used as something to supplement something an actual person made, right?
But is it making anything from scratch? Really?
No, but could you argue that philosophically anything you've ever ingested into your brain is ever made anything from scratch? Like, I don't know.
Nothing new under the sun. Yeah, I agree.
It just gets like really philosophical at that point. And I'm not saying we're AI, but like what I'm saying is that like everything is derivative, right?
Yep.
But like these can be tools to help humans bust down the tedium. But in reality, because of America and where 2/3 of the podcast live, it's going to be used to not help humans. It's going to be used to lower cost. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Dave, what do you think?
I think in repetitive menial tasks where AI could do it better than humans, I think that's where there's opportunity for improvement. So, but it's better, not cheaper. And this is the problem: is it's always going to be where can it be done cheaper, and can spin it any way we want about how this is freeing up resources for other things. It's never going to be that way. But Ed makes a good point in the chat about AI in QA. There's teams of QA testers who are tasked with just doing the most repetitive menial tasks in a video game to a point where they're not as effective because they're dying of boredom. AI is not going to have that issue. I think about things, it's just as simple as note taking. Like, we think of video games as somebody behind a desk just typing away at a computer and making wireframes and stuff like that. But like, there's so much collaboratively that goes on behind the scenes between people and creatives, and just note taking in a meeting organization and stuff like that. Like that's something where I think AI can probably help to improve things. But
Dave, real quick, my all of my work meetings are remote and they're all through Google Meet. Google Gemini's transcription and note taking stuff through Google Meet is shockingly good. Not that I should be shocked that Google has money to invest in a good tool, but like it is remarkably good.
we use Microsoft Teams, and there's something
Yeah.
similar. And it doesn't just transcribe the meeting, but it also pulls out and summarizes action items.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like it's actually listening, and
Right.
it's removing the garbage, which will still be there in the transcription, but the actual action items are there. So,
Mhm.
yes, I mean, you could have somebody taking minutes of a meeting, but I think like there's cases we've already seen where AI can do better at that. And I don't know if that's a language learning model or whatever, but
Yeah.
I think there is space for it, but it's really a question of, could a machine do this better than a human, or is it saving us money? There's always going to be a line that you're going to have to walk there, and I suspect rather pessimistically that businesses are always going to lean on, well, it's going to save us money, it's going to save us a wage or a salary, so that's a good business decision. But if you're asking me where I think it fits, I think there are some examples where it does fit in game development, but
Yeah.
I think we're seeing it being used. Like there was an article up about, Microsoft just did all the layoffs, and then somebody from Microsoft posted we're hiring image, and they used an AI image where the like the screen was flipped the wrong way. And I don't know if it was part of the joke, because they were apparently hiring graphics artists, and they clearly used an AI image. So I don't know if it was one of those, like, it's kind of tongue in cheek, but in any case, it's just like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I don't think I have a hard and fast rule here. I think there's some differentiation, but for my own personal taste, I'm very much like AI assistance. But when you get into generative AI and art, then I start having more of an issue with it. And again, it's I don't know that it's always about is this taking someone's jobs, because earlier, like I mentioned, like there are instances where there isn't someone whose job it's taking. It's doing work that somebody couldn't do. And in that instance, I'm like, use it to assist, not to generate out of thin air.
Right.
And I mean, nothing's actually out of thin air when it comes to AI, but that's a separate story. But yeah, I'm a lot less like I'm all about utilizing AI to assist, but not necessarily to generate, if that makes sense. Generative is the technical term for it. We had a few things here. AI summaries tend to be really useful. It's time for us to fight back against the robots. Nuke, it's too late, man. I'm sorry. Grok declared himself Mecha. I won't say that word because I'm pretty sure that gets us demonetized, but I think we had a good run, but we need to hang it up with the AI. I think the power of AI programming and coding can enhance balancing in enemy AI for various types of combat within games. That's a very good point. With cloud functionality, it will enable games to be more dynamic and reactive to your play. Do you guys remember when Microsoft's cloud tech was going to be used in Crackdown 3? That didn't happen.
Speaking of robots, are you guys seeing this new, like, is robot a race?
Let's not even get into that.
But they're starting to call them clankers.
Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't get into it. I'm saying as a society, should we not put that into the robots' brains?
I'm seeing to the part where we have sex with them.
Well, I've been waiting. There was that one article like 13 years ago that was like, by 2025 or 2026 it will happen, and it's a really shitty like drawing of a robot woman.
Did you see the thing that Grok does now?
Where it's like, put yogurt on this person's face. Is that what you're talking about?
No, there is a Grok AI girlfriend, like a waifu.
What?
Look it up, Brandon.
That's weird.
There's a video of a dude like chatting up Grok AI as if it were human and flirting with it.
Thanks, Elon. Thanks, Elon. Birth rate's about to plummet.
Look,
I think it isn't already happening. But
I think Elon is got a lot of problems. I also think he's done a lot of good. But one thing I can tell you for certain is that he's definitely making an AI girlfriend for his own needs. Derek says, love a good new slur, gonna drop clanker every chance I get. Dude, we've If there's one thing we don't need to do, it's to tell the robots you guys are clankers, and then expect them not to respond.
So like I've been seeing people online like one of those little wheel robots that will deliver your groceries and stuff. Like they'll just be like, "Oh, clanker," and they'll just like point at it and start yelling at it when it's walking by. I'm like, they're gonna remember that. Something's gonna get written in the code. Your face is gonna be in a database from the organically challenged.
I've always thought the key to solving racism is for aliens to come down, because then we won't care white, black, whatever. We're just humans and then aliens. So this is kind of the next closest
True.
thing. Is
True.
we've solved racism with AI.
Yeah.
Sadly, I'm not sure that would fix it. If we know anything, it's that left to its own devices, when you take the guardrails of AI, both Grok and Microsoft back in the day, it just gets incredibly racist.
I was going to say, I think we have the power to reach a new level, maybe mecha level racism, maybe omega racism with AI. So that's one of the many reasons. It's taking our jobs. It's creating new forms of racism. Stop AI today.
But Brandon, will you be subscribing to Twitter Blue so you can get access to Grok Girlfriend?
No. But I'll give it.
You sure about that?
But I'll give it some thought.
We've spent way too much time on this one. That's for sure. Let's move on to our second story about AI. No, I'm just kidding.
No more.
According to Push Square, Xbox's Forza Horizon 5 sold an outrageous 2 million copies on PS5 in a month. Quote, "We always sensed the market for Forza Horizon 5 on PS5 was humongous, but even we're a little stunned by how well it sold. The game, which had been consistently near the top of the global sales charts ever since it deployed on Sony's system, is said to have shifted 2 million copies in its first month on the market. That statistic comes courtesy of X-Turn 10 game and level designer Harrison Boland, who was unfortunately struck by Microsoft's recent round of layoffs." He put on his LinkedIn profile, or in his resume, created cross-platform feature designs enabling Forza Horizon 5 to sell 2 million units in 1 month on PS5 alone. I'm pretty sure at one point their best-selling on PlayStation, Microsoft's best-selling on PlayStation was Sea of Thieves, and it was only like 1 million in the first month. I say only 1 million. That's still a lot for a like 6-year-old game at the time, but couple million here. Boys, what does this mean?
Xbox is dead. No,
Xbox is gonna die.
No, this is the first Forza. I mean, this has been a legendary series on Xbox for a very long time. I think we're kind of breaking the dam, so to speak, on Forza right now in PlayStation. I think there's been a lot of pent-up desire for this series on this ecosystem. So I'm not saying that the momentum's not going to continue, but I think that has a large aspect in the upfront and forward movement of copies in this instant. Also, it just happens to be one of the best Forzas they've made in recent years. One of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, I think this is a really big win for Xbox and a really big win for PlayStation players as well to finally get a series like this on the console. The direct competitors like Gran Turismo are kind of like a different feel altogether. So they have something of this nature, especially with the drought in really good games like this. What was the Ubisoft game that came out? The Crew? Was that it?
Yep.
That game sucks dick. That game's awful. This game is great. I'm so glad PlayStation players are finally able to experience this. This being just the beginning. If they've sold this much already, like I said, I don't know whether the momentum will build, and obviously we won't get a same-day launch, but I'm assuming it will at least hold fast with this sort of trend here. So,
why do you say obviously we won't get a same-day launch?
Do you think it's... I just don't think that's...
I don't know if it's probable,
really?
but I don't think I would say obviously.
I agree with Brandon, you still need to support your subscription service, and launching same day on PlayStation is probably enough. I think most people would still gravitate towards, having it on the subscription service, but I think your heavy hitters, of which Forza Horizon is, it's kind of the best one right now. Like,
Absolutely.
all the other ones have a bit of shit on them, whether it's Halo, Gears of War, Tomb Raider, So yeah, I think you got to keep a couple still sort of timed exclusive. But
Yeah, and even if it's a little bit of shit, that's too much.
I'm more and more thinking. Sorry,
No, I was
I'm
gonna
more
say
and more think.
Fuck. Radic in chat is asking if am I glad whether all of us motorsport is dead.
Did you just prioritize Radic over me?
Yes. I think it is the inferior of the two. So yes, I'm kind of glad. Put all the resources you can into the series that brings you money and is superior in every way.
Horizon didn't kill motorsport though. It was Gran Turismo and iRacing and Assetto Corsa and stuff like that.
Well, also it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But it was dominant until those other ones came along.
Do you think that's because they put everybody on to Horizon?
It's two separate teams. Isn't it?
Yeah. So that's I don't think Playground Turn 10 whatever kind of killed motorsport. I think I think Gran Turismo was sort of in a lull with GT Sport because it had an identity crisis, and I think GT7 kind of brought the casual sims back in where all of the hardcore sims went to the other two I just mentioned. But yeah, this did make me think of kind of the heyday of arcade racers. Remember when like you had Need for Speed and like Burnout kind of going punch for punch, and then you had so like Midnight Club was still selling really well, and then like random games came out and they were like Split Second. That didn't do too well, but it still did well enough. But these days it's like I don't know. Most of them just fail, you know?
Well, also, were you guys like a Test Drive fan? I remember being a really big Test Drive fan back in the day. Dave, did you ever play any of those?
No, I wasn't a Test Drive guy myself.
Yeah, that series kind of shit the bed, but
Blur, that was a good one.
Wipeout.
I was a Burnout guy myself.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Revenge, maybe the best Burnout ever made. Very close with Paradise. Paradise was up there, but it didn't have the charm of Revenge.
Yeah, agreed.
I just want to say, I think in the next 18 months, so essentially by the end of 2026, we see at least one major first-party Microsoft game come day and date to PlayStation. And I'm not talking Gears of War Reloaded or whatever it's called, and I'm not talking, one of the Bethesda games that we've already seen day and date, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a new one that comes day and date to PlayStation. Yeah. I just think it's too much money for them to ignore.
I guess I tend to agree with you. I just don't think it's going to be their cash cow right away.
Yeah, maybe not, but man, think about all the early access, extra early. I think they sold 2 million copies in early access, like that bought the upgrade for early access of people who were on Game Pass alone. So that's people who are paying a subscription and they paid $30 a month or $30 extra to rent the game early. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a cash cow, you're right, but I don't, and that's why I think it has a possibility, the next Forza Horizon, of being on day and date.
Doesn't that give you a better chance though of bringing those PlayStation customers who've never experienced Forza Horizon before to then come over to Game Pass?
No,
because you have to change the ecosystem. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to totally change ecosystems. Well, unless you got people rocking a PlayStation and a PC, which many people do, including myself. I also have an Xbox, of course, but not everybody does. Many people have one gaming device, and
probably most people.
I'd say most people do. Not many people we talk to, because we mostly hang out with our friends who are also very into gaming. But I don't think most people have both major platforms. And there are definitely people. I mean, think about it's a minority, of course, of people, but think about how much crying there is when there isn't a Final Fantasy on Xbox at launch,
and then
or something like that. And that's not even a first party game, but and then when it does come, it sells poorly. That's beside the point. But like, just think about, like, there are people who definitely are not going to switch ecosystems because they love something. It just doesn't happen. It happens, just doesn't happen regularly. We beat this horse to death.
Fuck that horse.
I'm tired of Xbox. Speaking of Xbox,
speak of the devil.
No, this is a tweet from the Stalker official tweeter. Says the perimeter expands. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl is officially announced for PlayStation 5. Add the game to your wish list and stay tuned for signals from the zone. It has been announced. It's been about, not quite a year, but almost a year since this game came out on Xbox, specifically on Game Pass. And I feel like I heard about it for about 4.5 days and then never again until this very moment. What do you guys think about this? This obviously isn't a Microsoft exclusive game. This is a third party that was signed on the Game Pass, but
I think PlayStation only gamers probably have it better having this game launch on PlayStation almost a full year, or it's going to be more than a year after it initially launched, because this game did not launch in a good state. I don't think that surprised anybody, because this is kind of one of those games where it's up there with like Bethesda games. It's got a lot of Eurojank where if you buy it day one, you're buying into some shit, and this had that. So PlayStation fans are probably going to get the best product. And you know what? If I had a PS5 Pro, this is probably the kind of game I'd want to really kind of showcase what, the hardware is capable of. Because from what I've seen, when this game is optimized, and hopefully it will be for PS5 day one, it's a looker. It's got some cool stuff going on. So, I think if you were waiting for this on PS5, you're probably going to get the best product possible. Though I do think the majority of this game's fans are PC. So
yeah,
I just want to say that.
Brandon, are you going to play Harder Chernobyl on PS5?
No, I have it on Steam, and I still haven't played it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything profound to say. I mean, this is great. Yeah. There's less and less. Yeah, there's less and less of a reason to, care about the wars, because everything is kind of, a lot is being shared. So I think this is ultimately a win for the consumer, and not the brain dead one, the one that actually just wants to play good games. So
yeah, which is, in my opinion, the majority of gamers.
Yep.
It's like that little ecosystem we were talking about earlier that we all live in. The FBI has seized a popular Nintendo Switch ROM site, according to WCCF Tech. They said they've seized and taken down one of the more prominent Nintendo Switch ROM sites, NSW2U. First reported by Kotaku, the site was seized last week on Thursday. Though according to some of the members of the Switch Piracy Reddit group, the site remained up for a few hours before being entirely taken down. If you try to visit the website now, which of course no one listening to this show would be, you'll be met with a splash screen from the FBI notifying that the site has been seized in accordance with a seizure warrant. The splash screen also includes a logo from the tax administration, a Dutch agency that was involved in investigating the site and having it taken down. Nintendo has not commented on the takedown, but it's clear that this is part of the company's more aggressive effort to combat piracy on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 devices. Boys, what do you think about the fact Nintendo took down a ROM site full of a bunch of games that they will never remake? I'm just kidding. There's plenty of modern stuff on there too. I just like to give them a hard time. Brandon,
yeah,
I'll let you start since you love Nintendo the most.
Yeah, I have an ever-burning hatred for Nintendo. I think it's kind of another level whenever you're getting the Federal Bureau of Investigation wrapped up in it. I guess they do mean business, as they say. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we've talked ad nauseum about ROM sites and how we feel about illegally procuring versions and ways to play games. I think this is no different. I mean, we're going to continue to see this stuff till the end of time. Nintendo has been very clear on their stance, and it's a hard-nosed stance. So the fact that a normal, casual website was up for even the amount of time it was, and that they had to do something like get the FBI involved, is crazy to me. If you do plan on doing something nefarious against Nintendo, hide your tracks. Make it not a normal fucking website. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, this is just commonplace at this point. Doesn't come as a surprise whatsoever, but it is a little bit interesting to me that the FBI sees the website specifically. So, don't we have something else to be looking for?
No.
Like all I'm saying, unless this is some like, you say this was a Chinese website, unless there's some sort of deep-seated like political or like data farming something from Americans, like why is the FBI involved with this? Shouldn't we be like stopping like imminent threats to human existence in the United States? Like I'm almost positive, I can't say for certain, I wasn't briefed on this. It was redacted, the information that I'm referring to. I couldn't read it. It had that black Sharpie through it. You guys know what I mean. It had the black Sharpie through it. But I'm assuming this wasn't like imminent danger to any United States citizens. I could be wrong. But who knows? Who knows, Dave?
I feel safer personally knowing that this is gone. It's Ben kind of alluded to nobody from this show going to that site, and as I was reading this article, I was about to click the site just because I wanted to see the FBI shut it down. We're like, no, I can't do that. I don't know who's watching. I am
get on a watch list. Put on the VPN.
I'm terrified of this kind of stuff because I remember hearing stories in the past about like people downloading like Red Hot Chili Pepper albums from nefarious sites and then having like the authorities come after them for downloading pirated software. And I just thought there was too many people doing it for authorities to come after the end users. I thought they would always focus on like the people like distributing pirated software, but I always have this like paranoid thing in my head. I'm a big Chicago Bears fan, and every year I subscribe to a service that gives me every single NFL game, and the service has gotten really bad lately that I've started to consider IPTV. But even like today, I was looking at some of the services and I'm like, I don't know if I have like the backbone to commit this kind of crime. And I could never download something illegally from Nintendo, not because of morals, but more because of fear. So I think there's two things that Nintendo has done really, really well. One is make their quality IP quality for decades, and the second thing is scaring the piss out of me of ever downloading any of their stuff legally, because I just, they're such like a warm and fuzzy and nice company, but when you steal their shit, they're going to fucking kill you slowly and televised.
Dude,
I just won't fuck with them. So
Nintendo says death by 1,000 cuts. Doug Bowser will come there and like personally scalp you, I think, if you do that. So definitely as a Canadian, wouldn't even go there, buddy.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, yes, they scared maybe some normal people into not using them, but like the people who are making these sites, and unless they're getting hit with like a bunch of penalties and stuff, it's like a I didn't hear no bells kind of situation.
Just make a new website.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Yeah, whatever.
Random aside, have you guys ever accidentally gone to a website that has one of those FBI seizure notices on it? I have.
No.
And I didn't accidentally go to the website. I went to the website on purpose. Back, statute of limitations hopefully is up on this, but when I was in like college, early college,
let me Google it.
I don't remember the website's
Redacted.
name. I don't remember the website's name, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't exist anymore. But
convenient.
We used to order a bunch of Penguins and Steelers jerseys, and in fairness, like we weren't getting them and reselling them or anything like that. We were getting them and selling them to our friends at cost. So it wasn't like anything. I mean, it was still illegal, I'm sure, but it wasn't nefarious in the sense that we were profiting off of it. But they were almost perfect. They may have had like a piece of stitching or two done. In my opinion, they were stolen from the factory that makes them and just like resold, kind of like all those concert t-shirts. Not stolen from the factory, but like all the misprints, they just like shipped them to these guys, and these guys put them on the website. Like when you go to a concert,
that's it. Reps.
When you go
really
to a
high quality reps.
When you go to a concert and there's like 5 million guys outside selling t-shirts for the concert, those guys are what they're doing. They're selling the shirts a lot of times that are just misprints, but they're, it comes off as like, hey man, you got something here, secret for whatever. Anyway, so one day we went to like order another one, and the site had the big FBI warning on it, but we already had an order coming in. And I mean, these weren't like huge orders or anything. It was like a dozen jerseys at a time or something like that. We'd get different players as they became available and whatever. And the DHL guy, they couldn't even ship through UPS or anything like that. It had to be DHL for some reason. The DHL guy came up and he goes, "Well, this is the last package you're going to be getting from that site, isn't it?" And we were like, what are you talking about? We don't know." But like, he clearly knew if a package came from there, it was from that. So, but that was all a joke, by the way, FBI. If you're listening, that never happened. I made that all up for theater. Theater. Last news story for the night comes from GameSpot.com. Ubisoft's new spin-off division is being led by Yves Guillemot's son, and he believes Gen AI will revolutionize gaming.
Yikes.
Since its foundation nearly 40 years ago, Ubisoft has been a family company with the Guillemot brothers steering the French gaming giants. That tradition is continuing with the new spun-off subsidiary of the company, funded in part by Tencent, with Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot's own son, Charlie Guillemot, being named as the co-CEO, along with Ubisoft Montreal veteran Christopher. What is that, Dave? It's got to be French. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Christopher, where is it? Durand.
Durand? Okay. That's how I would have said it too. Wow, you're not that special. Moving forward to a few paragraphs down, his comment about generative AI is likely to cause a stir, given ongoing serious concerns expressed by developers about the role of generative AI in game development and potential job losses. A report from earlier this year said the majority of game developers worldwide use AI, despite concerns from workers. Just this week, laid off developers at Microsoft. We already talked about that story. Boys, what do you think about this? One, we've got a somewhat wealthy person being funded by a very wealthy organization, diving head on into generative AI, and then also maybe a little nepotism here, making your son the head of a new spinoff.
Yeah, Dave will have something way more profound to say about this, so I'll just say something real quick. As the former Ubisoft shill, he'll have a special insight into this. But we have three things here, boys. We have Ubisoft bad. We have generative AI. And we have Tencent. So those three things all in one is like a Molotov cocktail of dog shit. So like it's absolutely abysmal. And it is really funny whenever you see these silver spooned moments happen, as if this person is able to just go right into this sort of thing. And I would love for them to prove me wrong. If generative AI can make Ubisoft's games not fucking suck anymore, then I'm all about it. But it's not going to happen. So, Dave, take it away.
I thought they'd been using AI to make their games for years.
Honestly, it kind of fucking seems like it. Oh, a giant open world filled with nothing interesting. Sounds like something an AI would make.
Come on.
I rest my case.
Oh my god. So I have my Xbox 360 back there behind me, and I will always have that, and I will always have the games that Ubisoft produced in their glory days, and I will play them until the final breath leaves my body, because despite what Brandon said, Ubisoft did used to make really, really high quality, really fun, really inventive games. But the thing is Brandon will experience something for 4 minutes and then make a sweeping statement about the rest of the lineage about that entire thing. So
correct, the whole bloodline.
Like play Assassin's Creed 2 and then come back to me, because there was a golden age. But I 100% agree with everything else you said, that Tencent plus Gen AI positive statements plus Ubisoft in 2025 plus nepotism it's all bad. It's a disaster. Here I thought Ubisoft was turning a corner and refocusing on what made them really, really good. They have really strong IP that I'll admit hasn't been strong in a long time. It's been conveyor belt. It's been production quality. It hasn't been this is game of the year type stuff. And I don't like, if you look at Yves Guillemot's son's resume, it doesn't even scream like this guy can run a subsidiary of one of the world's largest gaming companies. Like, I don't understand it. And then you put him on a pedestal and he starts talking about generative AI, and it's like, you couldn't have started on a worse foot. And I don't know. It just continues to show, I think, that Ubisoft is really starting to lose the plot. And like, if he was being put in charge of an offshoot studio that was doing like some experimental stuff, working on some new IP, like that's one thing. But apparently this is the studio that's meant to push Rainbow Six and Far Cry and Assassin's Creed forward. This is not good. It's not good at all. And I've kind of lost faith in Ubisoft. I had a little bit hope that things were going to change, but this does not fill me with confidence. So, but as I said, we'll always have the old stuff.
I have nothing to add. Let's talk about what we've been playing. Who wants to go first? Taking volunteers.
I'll go quick because I just have something small. I've
Yes, you
been
do.
trying to commit myself to Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I picked this game up a couple of months ago. I played a few hours of it and then I put it down and then I picked it up again and then I put it down again. And the problem with this kind of game is with any game, if you put it down for a bit, you kind of have to relearn the controls, maybe familiarize yourself with like some of the quests you were working on. But with Metroid Prime 2, one, because it's a Metroidvania, and two, because it's from 15 years ago, it's really kind of hindering the experience when you put it down and have to come back to it, because it's like that Gandalf meme where it's like, I have no memory of this place, and you have to figure out like where you were going and where you'd already been, and the game doesn't do a good example of like giving you a quest log or quest markers or that kind of stuff, which is fine. That's part of the appeal, I think. But I think I'm going to have a much better time with Metroid Prime 2 if I just sit down and finish it and not have to like rack my brain to try and figure out what I'm doing every time I pick it up after putting it down for a little while. So yeah, I'm partway through the Torvus Bogs. I guess I'm about 2/3 of the way through, and yeah, I've heard that Echoes is a lot harder than Metroid Prime 1. And I think I understand why people would say that at this point in the game. And I've got a lot still to go, but I'm thinking it's more like, because the dark world, you're constantly taking chip damage, like it just makes it that much more urgent exploring the world. And honestly, I'm finding it a little bit annoying. But luckily, once you find the Dark Samus suit, it's a little bit you don't take as much damage as you're moving through the dark world, and the world does change in pretty interesting ways. But I still find the game is lacking from an environment perspective compared to the first, but I'm still having a really good time with it. I've been looking for a strategy guide, like a printed one, because I really want to feel like it's 2004 again, where rather than pulling up like IGN's guide, because I hate to admit this, but theirs is the best. I really want to like flip through like a paper guide, but they're too expensive, unfortunately. But yeah, I hope to be able to finish Metroid Prime 2 in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, that's it for me.
Nice. Brandon.
So I haven't been here for 2 weeks, so I have a little bit of a larger list this week. I'm sure Ben talked about it last week. I didn't get to see the end of the show. I had to make my way home, but I played Peak, which is really great. We did talk about it a couple weeks ago now, but I will say playing that game is way more interesting than the concept itself. It's affectionately referred to by me and some other people online as friend slop. But I say that in an affectionate way because I think this genre of something that is bite size, relatively cheap, and you can play with your friends is fantastic. I love these experiences. I didn't technically make it to the peak as a ghost. But yeah, I've seen all that game has to offer, and I'm definitely interested in playing it more. The levels rotate. I don't know if you mentioned that last week, Ben, but the levels rotate, so it kind of gives you a fresh version of the same biome every day, maybe every couple of days.
I think it's once a week, isn't it? Or is it every day?
I don't know how often it is. I'm going to be
Okay.
honest with you, because I've only played it maybe like a half dozen times. But it's great. Yeah, it's really really good and absolutely worth the money. There's a decent Discord they have. It has an LFG in the Discord. I found some really cool randos to play with. Unfortunately, it doesn't have matchmaking. But if you're saying, Brandon, I don't have friends to play with, that might be a good option. I had a really good experience. I've also heard from those same people I had a good experience with that they did not have a good experience. So just take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, the game's great.
You can play it solo, but that kind of is against the purpose of the game. Like it's meant to be a co-op.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of like integral mechanics to playing the game itself that revolve around there being at least two people, at least. So even if you have one other person, I think it's still a really worthwhile experience. So I'm
You know
still
what's really crazy about Peak? The game was made in 4 weeks. That's crazy to me.
what?
Peak was made at a game jam in Korea, and it took them 4 weeks.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Like a couple months ago. And I mean, in fairness, I could probably do it in like 4 hours, but
Would they have made that game though? Not
probably
like that. Not like that.
Now
That's
they
what
will.
I'm saying is the charm. Is the charm of it. Now they will. Now that they have the data, they can
Right.
probably one for one copy it in like 4 minutes, not
yeah.
4 weeks. But yeah, it's great. It's really, really good. So I'm still slogging through RE5. I'm almost done with RE5. Shout out to Ed for helping me through the first and second chapter, somewhere around there. I don't know that we made it through the first and second chapter, but I'm in chapter 5 of 6.
He came in chat last week and told us how awful of a time you were having. So
Yeah, no, I was having a really bad time. Honestly, as I've played the game more, I am coming around to it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. At first, it felt like a punishment. Like I actually was not enjoying it, and I'm like, I have to keep playing this because I just want to get it over with. And now I still feel the same way, but I don't feel like it's a punishment. I'm having fun, but I don't necessarily like the game, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's been okay. It's been okay. If this is what RE6 is like, I'm kind of not looking forward to that either, but I think mostly how I felt last week whenever Ed was playing with me was more of a whiplash than a actual accurate representation of how I felt about the game. So now that I'm kind of easing into it and getting a feel for it, going from RE4 remake to this was definitely a jarring fucking experience. So, I think if I maybe would have worked my way through the originals of the game, I would have had an easier transition into 5. In fact, I'm almost positive of that. But I am happy to have played the remakes because I feel like I'm experiencing it in the way that makes the most sense for me. So I've not been streaming it. Ed, Poot, anyone who's in chat, I probably am going to kick it back up here in the games that I actually am enjoying because I don't really want to play a game that I don't enjoy on stream. It's hard enough for me to stream. I'm not very accustomed to it yet. So playing something I don't like just kind of feels like a slog, especially when I'm streaming. So I've been trying to kind of bust through 5. I'm almost done, but I will report back, with my full-fledged, thoughts on the game as a whole. But yeah, it's not so bad. It's not so bad now that I've kind of gotten into it. So that, and I tried Lockdown Protocol. Do you guys know about this?
I've seen it before, yeah.
So it's super easy to describe. It is literally just 3D Among Us. Like bar for bar, it's 3D Among Us. There's a little bit of nuance to it, but it's almost identical in premise, in execution. You go around and do tasks. There's a set amount of imposters. Like it's really good. And it's interesting playing in a 3D space. And it wasn't very expensive, so I picked it up. But obviously another game that's best played with friends. So, and then lastly, I'm still playing BG3 with my brother and his girlfriend. We've now finally made it through Act 1. I've been saying for 20 hours to them that we're almost done with Act 1 in the hopes that they won't stop playing it. But we ended Act 1 with about 40 hours worth of gameplay under our belt. One of 3 acts, we ended with about 40 hours. So they're now in Act 2, and I actually do think they're really enjoying it. And it does my heart really good because, Dave, you don't know my brother. Ben, you know my brother. I was positive he wasn't going to like Baldur's Gate. And I actually think he's really enjoying it now. He's really coming around to it.
I talked to your brother the other night, and he was talking about how much he was enjoying it.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a sell for him. I was like willing to buy it for him and everything. But I think between me and his girlfriend, because she had played it and loved it and never finished it, much like I had. And so we pestered him enough and got him to peer pressure into it. So it's wonderful. There's a lot of stuff that I don't remember about Act 2 and a lot of stuff I didn't do in Act 2. So I'm already running into new content, even though I made it into Act 3. finding a lot of stuff. I mean, that's really like the Skyrim of games. Like you could play that game for 1,000 hours and find something new easily. So, yeah, just a wealth of quality. Nothing news to be said about Baldur's Gate 3 that hasn't already been said. But yeah, lots of gaming this week, boys. At least on my days off. My on days at work, I only have time to work and sleep the days that I'm on. But when I'm off, I've been fully utilizing my time to tend my house plants and play video games. So
Nice, as it should be. For me, I've been playing like a little bit of a hodgepodge of stuff. Like I've played Hunt a couple hours. I played some Counter Strike. I played just a hodgepodge of stuff. Peak one night. But really, as far as like games that are ongoing that I could talk about, Echoes of Wisdom. I'm still going through Echoes of Wisdom. I'm now about. I think I just looked up like a general guide to see like all the areas, and I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through it. I'm still really enjoying it. I did not play it on the original, like on the Switch 1 for very long, but I think that one thing that's new in the Switch 2 version, which is just a free upgrade, is that you can favorite items, the echoes that you bring in, and I have not done it yet. So what are you shaking your head at, Dave?
It's not new.
It's not new?
No, it wasn't in launch, but I think they added it after launch. But it was in the Switch 1 version.
Maybe that's what I was seeing people complain about, that it wasn't there, but that was probably around launch. Anyway, I'm not utilizing it, and I feel like I should be, because sometimes it's a bit of a chore to go through and find the right thing that I want to use, the right echo. But overall, I'm very much enjoying it. The side quests, have let them stack up a little bit too much. I wish I could go through and delete them, because I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get to all these, but you can't, which is fine. But it's a pleasure. I love Zelda games, and this one is, such a different, unique take on Zelda games, that it's really scratching an itch, I suppose you could say. The other thing I played this week, I only played it for a little bit, is the Crosswind playtest. Crosswind is a game that's been on my radar for a little while. Of course, it's kind of big in the Sea of Thieves community, at least prior to it coming out in the playtest, it was, because it's a pirate game. But it's a survival crafting pirate game with some naval combat mixed in. So this isn't even an alpha, or it's not even a beta or anything like that. It's just a playtest. I was fortunate enough to get a code for it through the playtest request feature. And sorry, I just accidentally clicked off this window.
looks cool.
Yeah, so if you like survival crafting, it's very much a survival crafting game with just the pirate theme. You start out, of course, being shipwrecked and end up on an island, and then have to work your way up. You gotta do a fire and build a hut, and then go dig for stuff and craft stuff and explore the islands and all that kind of thing that you normally would have. I would say that it is pretty rough to start out with. Of course, it's nowhere near released, so I'm willing to forgive that. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like they're going to add, because like occasionally there's a voice line or something, and then other times there aren't. And it's kind of obvious that's like, instead of having like a story scene where people are talking, it's like, then this happened. And it's like, oh, okay, was that actually how it's going to be or not? So I don't know. It's very early, like I said, but it feels very good. The survival crafting parts, I'm sure, are harder to build than the story elements. And it's pretty cool so far. You can, of course, upgrade all your gear and your weapons. Like I said, the building is very cool. One of my things about survival crafting games is that, like, I don't like it when it's like, click on a blueprint and here's a house. I like being able to like build things block by block and piece by piece, and it allows you to do that. The other thing, of course, that it allows you to do is go out on the seas. Now, I haven't gotten to the point yet where I have like a big boat, but I have a small boat that I was able to go like to some other islands and everything with. Which is pretty cool. The combat is interesting. It is, I think they describe it as a Souls light. And I don't know that I would go that far, other than to say like it is a more difficult or more nuanced combat system than most survival crafting games. You have to block, you have to dodge, all that kind of stuff when you're fighting things. I died to some little dodo birds a couple times because I wasn't like actually taking them seriously. I was just left clicking away with my sword, and I was like, oh, I actually have to like strategically do this. And I was very low level, but they were like literally 10 feet from the starting area. So I actually needed to pay attention. But I really like it. I'm excited. I'll probably try to play it another time or two before the beta or the not beta, the playtest is over here in a couple days. And I'm excited for it to come out just because, like I said, with the building aspects, there are a lot of survival crafting games out there, and I like a lot of survival crafting games in general. But where I really get deep into the weeds is with the building, and this one seems to have really solid building so far. So I'm sure I will enjoy it. Speaking of which, Brandon, one of probably my favorite building in any game was in Sons of the Forest. I want to go back now that it's done and play that again with you.
I do too. I was actually, I just watched an insane speed run. Moist Critical actually did.
I don't want to do any of that shit. I don't want to speed run it.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is it got me rehyped for the game.
Yeah.
I want to go back because we played it so early. Literally, we played like the bones of the game that I'm positive that it is now.
I think we literally played it like a week, started playing it like a week after it came into early access when it first released, and finished it a solid year and a half before it released on 1.0.
It's crazy. So, yeah, we absolutely have to go back. I really have fond memories of that game. It's just so fun.
Yeah. Good time. And that's it for me. That's what I've been playing.
That's it. That's it for all of us.
That's it for all of us. Boys, anything else we've missed?
No.
Don't forget, if you want to help support us, you can do so for as little as $1 a month. If you want to support us financially, you're here, you're listening, whatever, you're supporting us. But if you want to support us financially, help keep the lights on so we don't have to pull it out of our own pockets and out of our children's mouths, go to patreon.com/handsomephantom and sign up for as little as $1 a month. We'd appreciate it. And if you want to go hang out with us for free, you can do so at handsomephantom.com/discord. And you can hang out with our weird but loving community. Radic says, "Damn, that's it, huh?" Radic, it's been an hour and 20 minutes. That's like a longish show for us. How dare you? It is what it is. Boys, I won't be here next week. I have a work thing I got to go to, but I trust you guys will hold the fort down.
Absolutely.
Viewership will be, the listenership will be higher, I'm sure.
Dave and I will be steadfast.
Yeah.
Mostly Dave.
Yeah, just don't hang out with Alec.
It ain't happening, bro. It ain't happening. He'll be on the podcast before I'm missing next week.
I will go solo if I have to. It'll be awesome.
Imagine that would be
chat.
The title of the episode is just Dave's monologue.
In the few times I've streamed, I have experience talking to one or two people for 2 hours. So
yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. See ya.